One. Well, welcome everybody. This is Dr. Keith with Dads for Life, and this is Straight Talk with Parents. We're coming to you live from all over the world, and that's where I've been for the last few weeks. I've been over some part of the world with one of our guests here tonight, Mr. Jai Garcia from the kids.Jai. I have just returned from a world-packed, or just a whirlwind of a trip. I tell you, I went over to the UK for a couple of things in business and Dads for Life, and we have just, oh my goodness, I just cannot take up the time to tell you everything that happened. We're so excited about what's happened. But I haven't made it down to my friend in Australia yet, but my co-host is with me tonight, Miss Ariel Wheeler. Welcome, Ariel.
Thank you for the lovely intro. Yes, welcome, guys. It's going to be absolutely amazing tonight. We have got the amazing Jai Garcia in the room.
Yes,
Hey!
we have. Well, we welcome you. Ariel, just tell us a little bit about what do you do? I don't remember what you do. No, I want to hear from you. What do you do?
Okay. Wow. That is amazing. Yeah, absolutely. I love to share exactly what I do. So I am the founder of iHead Brand, and iHead Brand is basically all about you, your product, and creating your cash flow. So ultimately, I am the face behind my brand. So that means I'm a visibility e-commerce coach, and I specialize in teaching and helping online leaders how to create products and design their products, whether it's physical or digital, and ultimately helping them create the cash flow from repeat business and raving fans all around. So guys, that's exactly what I do in a nutshell, and I'm just so happy to be here tonight. It's so exciting.
Well, on top of it, you help keep me straight on these calls each week, and I appreciate you so much.
Yes.
But, well, we are so excited about something else, but I think I'm going to let my guest kind of tell us about that in a little bit at the end of our broadcast tonight. But we are here specifically to invite my friend and Ariel's friend from Australia. She's from Australia. He's from the England area of the United Kingdom, and we're going to talk about confidence in kids tonight and building confidence in kids. I practiced this a lot when I was younger as a young divorced dad, and I can tell you it pays off in the long run. But we're going to hear from the expert tonight. I would like to welcome Mr. Jai Garcia from the kids.Jai. Welcome, Mr. Jai.
Wow. Thank you very much. I absolutely love that intro. Well, for today's call, I had to do lots and lots of preparation. I had to surround myself with the best materials. Hold on, quick. Okay. This book is so good. This book is fantastic. I've read it cover to cover, probably three times this whole week. I love absolutely hearing Keith. Keith is an absolutely incredible parent, an incredible teacher. So for me, it's an absolute honor to be here. It's an absolute honor to be here. For me, I'm all about teaching confidence. I hate the idea of people allowing their confidence to hold themselves back. But yes, we've got a fantastic role model in Keith. So as a parent, I'm still aspiring, Keith.
That sounds like a paid endorsement, but I can tell you it's not. But I do approve that message. I appreciate it so much. You and I worked together very hard the last couple of weeks, and I just want to say you're more powerful in person than you are right here each day that you get on and encourage so many people across the world that join in all your different avenues of confidence building. But working with you personally and meeting your families just was a tremendous blessing to me, and I want to thank you for your hospitality and even helping me find a good dentist over there when I needed one. I needed confidence in doing that, and you helped me do that. So I appreciate that so much. So, all right, so we want to get started here. We've welcomed other guests that are coming on, and we're live, Jai, on Periscope right now.
Oh, fabulous, yes.
See that we are up and running with that, and I'm very excited about that avenue, because we do get a lot of things coming our way sometimes in questioning or whatever, and I'll get those over to me so we can get those answered. But we always also repurpose this so we can go out continuously.
Good.
I have wanted to tell you that I've started talking to you to another group that I have met down in the UK about you and your services. So let's see if we can continue building confidence in your country as well with some people I've met. So it's kind of interesting. But let's get started. All right, so we're talking about straight talk to parents, Jai, each week on this course, or with Ariel and I. We bring in different guests for different reasons, but when I was with you this week, I saw the confidence that you kind of just pours out of you, even with your children. I saw that firsthand. You talk to them and you love them, and you just kind of just keep them encouraged, and I can see them already learning from you. So tell us, just to get a start here, what do you think does it take, and maybe how early in age should we start building confidence in our kids?
Okay, so the very first thing, kids want so much, they've got so many needs, they don't know which needs they want fulfilled. And so the very first thing, especially in the context of confidence, is certainty. It's our job to give them as much certainty as possible. We've got to give them the reassurance and the certainty that certain actions will lead into other actions. So it's a wonderful way of letting them know that they're safe, that the world around them has some form of predictability, that there are consequences for going near roads and the rest of it. So in terms of helping them build up their confidence, we've got to really teach them that what's going to be a certain consequence, or what's going to be certainly going to be safe. And as a parent, it's our job for us to be confident and to lead the way. So when you're a confident parent, they're going to pick on, they're going to really pick up on that vibe. If you are doubting yourself, if you are giving them too much free rein, then they're not going to feel that safety and certainty. So start by being a very confident and caring and loving parent.
Wow. And that goes from the time they leave for school in the morning, they need to know that you're caring and loving. And when they come home, I always say, Jai, and that home needs to be the safest place for any child. Too many times I as a police officer working in the schools, I had kids come in my office more because they felt more comfortable just by talking to me, because I shared that and showed that. When you build confidence in kids, you're building it for their future. You're laying the foundation for a positive outcome in adulthood, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. It's the idea that for some children, their home isn't their safest place, or is a place of insecurity. Makes me incredibly sad. It makes me incredibly sad. What's close to my heart is that if children aren't brought up to be confident, the risks that they fall into in later life. So we might go into that.
I had many students come in my office, and I just have so many stories, but I remember a few that come in my office just for a confidence boost, because they never were told first of all, they were never told that their parents love them at home, which is kind of strange to me. If you're a parent, you should always be telling your kids that. But then also that they would come in just for that confidence boost, because I never told them anything negative other than, if it came across of them not doing their work in school, or not, maybe being close to committing a crime or something like that. We talked negative a little bit on they thought was negative, but really it turned out to be positive, is because I would always boost them up and build confidence in them, because without boosting confidence in your kids, you're letting the friends at school do it, and who knows where all that information is coming from, letting the media or the internet or television, all that, do that negative, because there's a lot of negative going on if you let other things. So parent has to be positive and has to exude that basically to that child.
Absolutely, yeah. They've got to be exuding it. They've got to be just putting an absolute stop to the negativity. As soon as you hear the negative language from your child, you've got to identify it. You've got to help them reflect it. Maybe it's very early on. Just switch that phrase around into a more constructive or a positive phrase. But the negativity has to stop, especially the I can'ts, or the I'm not good enough. If that comes in from an early age, you nip it in the bud. As a parent, you've got to not wrap them up in cotton wool. You just got to give them the loving and reassurance, and you just got to give them the encouragement. You've got to really give them the encouragement. If need be, teach them the next step so they can continue learning themselves. Definitely, the support has got to be there. So powerfully.
Well, I used to have kids say, "Well, I can't do this, I can't do that." I said, "Well, can't never could." Okay, you got to try. Okay, to pass on that. Ariel, we'll pass it over to you, to Australia, to the Gold Coast. What do you have for Mr. Jai tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I can remember sitting on Facebook a few weeks ago, and I'm sure this actually is circling around on Facebook right now, there is a gentleman who is actually teaching his daughter some affirmations in front of the mirror. Have you guys seen that video yet? Well, basically, he's describing in the video how he talks to his daughter in the morning. So basically, it's like a prep in the morning, telling her that she's intelligent, having a great day, that she's beautiful, and giving all these beautiful affirmations. Do you do any of that with your children?
Yes. So in terms of managing the self-talk, definitely. So whenever there's a difficulty, and my boys really love Lego, and so if they say I can't, or this is too hard, or I didn't do it right, instantly I'm learning how to do this. I'm learning this. And just banish absolutely anything that gets in the way. Hey, guess what? Even as a parent, I am still learning. I'm still studying the best teachers everywhere. Keith, I think it's a really good time to share the napkin story.
Oh, absolutely.
Please. That's such a great story.
And parents, and I could tell you that if you just do a little research, you can find people out there that can kind of just give you ideas. Not that anybody knows it all, but I ran across a gentleman years ago, and his name is Garth Callahan, and he has a movement now called the Napkin Note Dad, actually. And what he did is he just took a basic napkin and wrote on there something positive, and his daughter was in kindergarten, and put it in her lunchbox. Or her lunch bag, and she got to school and read that, and it was the most exciting time of the day it turned into, because he would do it every single day. Well, then she had friends that would come around the lunch table and would say things like, I can't believe your dad does that. That is awesome, and on and on and on. Well, so then she really liked it, and Dad knew it, so he continued doing it, but then he got sick and got cancer, and it turned out to be that it was a negative report, and what the doctors were telling him was not very positive. So every night when she went to bed, he would sit at the kitchen table and write out a note every single night, just constant notes, until he got tired, I guess, to go to bed. But he would put those notes in a box and instructed his wife that if something should happen, that one of those notes would go into that lunch every single day till she graduates high school. Now that's building confidence, even if you may not be around as a parent. But I can tell you this, that has turned into a movement, and his health has improved. And Ariel and I had him on a few weeks ago, and it was very, very popular class that night across the web, because people were listening to what he had to say. So thanks, Jai, for bringing that up. But that's the kind of thing that we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah. So powerful, just so powerful. Stories like that absolutely stick with you.
Not to duplicate anything, but people are doing that. Parents are doing that now because they're learning from them. There's 2 books written out there. There's a movie. I mean, it was just incredible, just movement of how one thing, you and I've talked about this, how one thing that we can do can be carrying on that ripple effect. Can you imagine how many parents have now built confidence in their kids by writing notes on a napkin? I mean, it's just incredible. So, Ariel, anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to hear some examples of some self-talk that you share with your children, Jai.
Yep. So you've got to be aware just what kind of self-talk might be entering their head. So the most common one with children is the I can't or I don't know. And guess what? At that age, they're just beginning to learn it. And so it's our job to implant the idea of wow, wouldn't it be great to learn? So the whole excitement and love of learning. if we can really develop a real positive relationship around learning, then whenever there's any challenges or difficulties, or they don't succeed the first time, then they're not going to internalize that in a very negative way. So anything to do with I'm learning, I'm ready to learn, I'm excited about this. Essentially, it's stopping the negative. And so the very first thing that I'll do is I'll pay attention just to any language that is disempowering. And if it's disempowering, then it's just a simple case of coming down to their level and figuring out, where they've heard that. And so if a key influencer, if one of their friends who's an influencer is using negative language, help them understand that some people don't understand, aren't clear on what they're saying. And when they're saying those words, what they really mean is, so just, so if you're able to tell them what's a better meaning, even though there may be an environment where they're not hearing the best words.
That is very well put. See, my daughter is 2 years and 3 months old now. So what's some of the things that I could be doing right now to instill not only self-belief, but also the confidence? So when she is actually learning words that she can and she can't and she won't, or she just some of those words. So what things as a parent should I be doing right now to instill that self-confidence and belief?
So at the deepest level, it's the relationship that they have with learning. If we can really get in with their relationship with learning, and it's that it's natural, that it's fun, that they're good at it, that the learning process is actually a reward, that they're not getting it right first time is expected, and getting the right balance of praise. So there's no point in praising absolutely everything, because we want to make sure that it lands. Too much of it and they actually won't hear it at all. And so figuring out different ways to actually give them the reinforcement, the praise, the love. For example, something that works really well with my children is I'll go ding, a little tap on their chest and a ding. They seem to love. So if when they get something correct or they find a very imaginative or funny way of solving a challenge, we make it we make it as fun as possible. So the feeling, so we've got to go, at something that they can understand. So make sure that we're equally happy and enthused about the process rather than any specific outcome.
That is very well said. Thanks, Jai, for sharing that. I believe Keith said we have a Periscope question.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's coming in from Ohio area. The question: how do you deal with someone, possibly a child with ADHD or a learning disability of any kind, or maybe attention kind of thing? How do you deal with that when it builds confidence? And should it be like repeated possibly, and you have any suggestions on that?
Oh, cool. Yeah, is that for me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm diagnosed with ADHD, and so my attention wanders incredibly, and so my own management system. So I got taught by in a very, very strict way, and what happens is so I can talk very well about my learning style, and so being able to change the emphasis of the learning process. Here's a good example. Figure out how your child is behaving around that learning experience. Sometimes you simply need to quickly change the teaching modality just to get their attention back. So potentially just only talking about the sound, potentially only talking about the shape, the size, color, something very visual. So changing all of the modalities while you're still on the same subject, just to keep the topic interesting. Because the ADHD mind can run so quickly, and they'll go, okay, I think I know what's going to happen. I'm bored of this, and just losing the attention, losing the desire to learn. It's our job. It's our job to keep it interesting for them, and eventually let them. you know what? I've got to be honest. This is the one that works best for me. The one that works best for me is if I know how long the lesson is going to last, then okay, you've got me. You know, if you've told me it's going to be 5 minutes, as soon as it hits 6 minutes, I'm out of there. Okay, and so you know, if you're again going back to the certainty, be very clear as to what are those teaching parameters.
All right, thank you, Jai. I hope that answers questions. We're building our Periscope audience. We may have a few more here. I know there's a lot going on Periscope tonight, but let me reset a little bit. I'm Dr. Keith with Dads for Life. We're here to encourage, enhance, enrich your life each and every day. But we ask you to always think of your children and doing that first for them because they need it. And my guest tonight is Mr. Jai Garcia from the United Kingdom area, which I just returned from, and he is definitely a wonder to work with in person, as well as his confidence periscopes and classes he does. I'm going to turn it over to Ariel and ask her to show us a little bit about his website. Maybe he can help us navigate that.
Yeah, I would absolutely love to. Alrighty, I'm going to share this screen and I'm going to get rocking and rolling. Okay, so let me know if you can see the screen and we will get started. Can we see the screen here?
Cool. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Jai, so tell us a little bit about what the Confidence Gym is and what your website is all about.
So, again, from someone who's got a very different learning style, because I've got clients internationally, you can just see one of the world's biggest cities and a very short video. And in that video, I'm very, very personal about a few things that happen in my life. So, and then it's talking about feeling confident and unstoppable. So if anybody would like a free lesson, all they've got to do is just shoot me an email so that I can help people improve their confidence. Short and sweet, short and sweet.
I like it, very punchy. It's time to stop trying, do it all alone. It's time to experience a life breakthrough. That is pretty awesome. I like that.
Yes, and he does very well at doing this in person. Obviously, I spent some time with him recently, and he just does it. He just got this knack for doing it, Jai. I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you put up with me for that long.
You're incredible. Absolutely. See, someone that's that complimentary. Yeah, Keith's very easy to work with. His concentration isn't very much because he's only been able to produce. Keith's concentration is terrible because as soon as he does one book, he's on to the next one and the next one and the next one. I find that so exciting, so exciting. I think it's superb.
Jai, why don't you just tell him what we did?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm going to spill it. I'm going to spill it. So look, it was absolutely wonderful for Keith to come over. And I think Keith will be willing to admit that his teaching and coaching skills and speaking skills are pretty decent. And so in the space of 3 days, we were able to record 3 video training courses. What an absolute rock star to work with. I'm afraid as a coach, I've got to be quite tough on people, and I really pushed. I really pushed our friendship. I was incredibly demanding, and Keith's patience was fantastic. As Keith was doing incredibly well, my attention began to wander, and I kept asking for more videos. And I said, Keith, can we produce another bonus lesson? And this was going on from early into in the morning, late into the night. An absolute joy and absolute just wonderful inspiration. When you work with a professional like Keith, it was easy for me. We didn't get much sleep because there was so much filming and editing going on. An absolute inspiration. We got to talk a lot about the book. Blown away by Keith's level of professionalism and the depth of his knowledge. what you get to hear on Periscope is just the surface. You have to listen to Keith for 5 years before you can even begin to scratch the surface. Keith, you are so rich, full of information. Yeah, people would be absolutely blessed just to learn from you. And those courses are gold. They are absolutely incredible.
Okay, this sounds like a paid endorsement, so I'm gonna cut you off right there. But I do appreciate that.
So I do believe it officially launches. Keith's got his pre-launch by the end of this week, and so just make sure follow Keith on all social media. The program is fantastic. It's got Jai stamp of approval for sure. And all I was doing was just holding the camera, pretty much. So, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Really, I'm so excited. Honestly, I am so excited.
Well,
and 2 courses, not just 1 course, but 2 courses in that space of time. It's absolutely unthinkable. So,
well, as we talked about it, it's just helping other people. Once you find your passion to help somebody and not think about yourself, it just seems to flow. I mean, it worked on both ends of ours. We actually, as we worked behind the scenes, we actually another course, and I didn't even know. We really didn't. We started out the week not knowing what we were going to do, right? But you kind of built confidence in me just to pull out my knowledge, and I did that. And we kind of work together. And tell me about that. How does it, when you bring people together with like-minded, just like your mastermind courses that you do, what does that do to you? In fact, we can ask Ariel's opinion because, we understand that. I mean, what does that do to you to be able to bring people together and pull out their best?
You've got to hang around like-minded people. It's an absolute must. To hang around, to spend your time with people of a certain caliber. It's so easy just to surround yourself with the people that are near, but to actually seek out and pay to be part of masterminds of people that are going to push you and challenge you, of people with such high standards. It makes you raise your own standards.
It really does, Jai. It really does. And I'm very, honored to not only met you, but all the others that were in that mastermind group, but how it builds on that from success. And that's why you say like-minded people and I say like-minded people, just be around people with the same kind of passions, to help each other because we all have a passion. So, Ariel, you have anything for Jai? We may have a question coming in here in a minute. That's why I was just checking on something.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just going to say that, hanging around with like-minded people is great, not only just for us, but for the people that we do hang around with, but ultimately our children. Because if we can surround ourselves with people like that, they're going to hear subliminal messages. They're going to hear messages from people, and they're going to hang around other children who are not only just speaking positively, but they are full of confidence. They have that self-belief, and when they hang around with people, we always want to hang around with an athlete who is out there, who's training every day, who's out there in the sun, drinking water, pushing themselves not only to the limit, but to break their own personal records. And for our children to be surrounded by people like that, not even, not only just ourselves, but it's a great inspiration, it's a great motivation, and to not only just encourage our children, but to allow them to actually embrace that and embody that for themselves. So I'm just excited. Yeah, this is just amazing. Our chat tonight has been absolutely amazing. And on the ball, we've talked about not only self-confidence, but we've just talked about actually embodying it and what like-minded people actually do, what we do for a living, how passionate we are, how confident and how much self-belief that we have. Even though that we find it hard, even though we find it sometimes difficult to show up every day when we are sometimes filled with doubt. So my question for Jai is, how do we perform even though we feel less confident or we have some buzzing going around our head where we are doubtful? So how do we overcome that, or at least deal with it in some way?
And the first one is to accept it. Accept that we have a little doubt, and that little doubt is just simply reminding us that we don't know everything.
Absolutely.
It's when we tell ourselves, it's when we hold ourselves with the expectation of knowing everything that we're not putting totally unrealistic expectations and pressures on ourselves. The very first thing I would do is I would reach out. I would reach out to people at my level and above, and I share that problem out. It's the very first thing we discussed right from the beginning is, we are still learning. Somebody that wants to progress is somebody that will admit, just how little they still know. And, it's such a pleasure, to know authors that you can ask. Reach out to people that know, people that have been there, people that have got the experience. Ask. I'm so happy to ask now. And it's, and it's the exact same thing that I teach my children. So as a parent, if you show your children that you don't know the answer, then they're going to feel reassured. Oh, I'm not supposed to know it all either.
Jai, I live by that philosophy that I'm a life learner. And now I've met some people that know everything, and the reason I ask them and they tell me they know everything. But anyway, I'll never be that person. You always learning something. If you swallow your pride enough to know that, then you can always be open to new ideas. I learned a lot in the UK. I mean, I was around a group of people from another country in your country, and they love me for some reason, and I just connected with them because we were life-minded people. We have a question from one of our guests who would like to come on and ask a question live. April, are you there? Hold on, let me unmute you. Oh, okay. I think you're there. Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You have a question for our guest, Mr. Jai.
Sure. Coming from a childhood where I went through a lot of abuse, for me, raising my son, I'm kind of doing it blindly, because I didn't really have the experience growing up. What kind of suggestions would you give a parent like that who maybe came from a really bad childhood and just really wants to make sure that their children can, be encouraged and have self-confidence?
There's so many people that are asking themselves that question. A wonderful part of not having an ideal childhood is that as you're growing up, you begin hallucinating as what would be a fantastic parent and what would be a fantastic way to be treated. So I'm very confident, and luckily, I know your story. I know just how much love that love just absolutely flows from you. And it's just, our desire to be the parent that we never had, our desire to allow our child, to have the upbringing that we didn't have. It just means that you just give and give and give and give and give. And it's just absolutely just commendable. I know, I've seen a few of your photos online. And so for you, it's not an issue. But that, we're all going to have that doubt. We're all going to have that doubt whenever we see our child experiencing a difficulty. We love to try and take that on and take that problem away from them, or possibly blame ourselves, that they're struggling. We blame ourselves when they've got a cough or they're ill. So, we've just got to be really honest with ourselves and realize our best is good enough. Our best is good enough if we're truly, truly loving, and we're putting some time into books. Buy this book. Keep learning. Absolutely keep learning. Invest in yourself. You're investing in your child. Our child's going to grow up to be confident. Hey, and that's another worry off our plate. So, but thank you very much, April, for asking. Yeah, I know a lot of people will be thinking about that.
Yeah, thank you, April. Appreciate you coming on, being part of it. Folks, we are talking to Mr. Jai Garcia from theconfidencegym.com. He is our guest tonight on Straight Talk to Parents. And as we start to wrap up, we just want to kind of reiterate just a little bit, Jai, on how to build confidence. Okay, so let's start with just preschoolers. Give me one good thing. Preschoolers, how do we build confidence?
Okay, so a preschooler is so curious. So the very first thing is absolutely do not dampen the curiosity. Do not dampen their curiosity. too many times we think, oh, don't do that, stop doing this. Let's encourage and just teach those boundaries for them.
Okay. Elementary.
So elementary, they're beginning to be quite they're beginning to form words. They're beginning to allow more criticism to start entering in. And that's when the encouragement is the best time. So just as much encouragement as is humanly possible.
I'm going to stretch you on this one. Middle schoolers.
With middle schoolers, they want to be treated as adults. They already think they know it all. And so more discussions have to occur, but then you've really got to stand up as a leader and be absolutely consistent with your communication with them.
All right, and of course the ones that know it all, the high schoolers.
By then the high schoolers totally believe that, and then you've got to be an absolute pioneer for them in order for them to pay attention. You've got to be a bit of a rock star, or if they've got any respect for you, they're going to hide that anyway.
And then, of course, I always say that's the time we get fired as a parent and rehired as a consultant. That's our goal, right? Yeah. Really, have any final things before we wrap up our class for tonight?
No, I think I'm all talked out tonight, actually. We've had so much great advice, and wow, it's just absolutely blown my mind. There is just so much golden nuggets that Jai and Keith have dropped tonight. So for all of those who are listening tonight and today or tomorrow, wherever you are in the world, whatever's happening, know that these guys have definitely dropped some golden bombs. So definitely get your hands on the replay because it is absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you very much, Ariel. And Jai, I'm working on that radio show. You're going to be one of the first guests. Going. I mean, you keep saying a little bit more. There's a little bit more, Keith, you could do. Yeah, right. My head is full, ladies and gentlemen, by spending 2 weeks, I know, with this gentleman. I went back and forth between 2 cities, actually 3 cities. And I went to London for a day and really got to kind of look around a little bit and met a couple of authors in business through the other group that I'm with on Periscope and Facebook and all. So that was kind of cool to be a part of them. And we just kind of met up and we just seemed like we'd known each other. And Jai, it's like when you and I met, you came to pick me up. I was like, hey, finally I'm back in the UK, which I'd never been there to meet you before. But that's the connection that we had, and I appreciate it so much. Mm-hmm. All right, you have, let's see. Okay. Yeah. So let me ask you just one other thing. All right. You're a middle-aged person. All right. And your children are grown and maybe you've made mistakes. You have any advice for what we could do? Maybe try to go back and let's build some confidence in rebuilding our relationship.
So acceptance, forgiveness, the way we go totally beyond all of that is understanding that you are enough and that you've got to learn to forgive yourself and put that stuff aside. You've got to put all of that stuff aside. So the mistakes that that you're making as a parent, the difficulties that they're bringing to the plate, it's that total love and acceptance, and realizing that you are enough, that you're not broken, that together you can achieve it. Again, you've got to have that total self-belief for a better future.
Well, and if you need that self-belief, folks, you can reach out to Jai at what website?
theconfidencegym.com.
How can they reach you by email?
And if you want to reach him by email, getselfbelieftv@gmail.com.
And you definitely, if you knew this guy more than a minute, you can start building your self-belief. I can assure you, and there's several other people in our group that could agree to that, my friends. So all those watching on Periscope, let's see, we built up a little audience, but there's a lot going on tonight. But we are going to repurpose this, and we'll send it out again, folks, through our network over all our social media feeds. And we just appreciate it. Ariel, thank you for joining us all the way at the bottom down there.
Definitely, it's down under from here for sure.
Yeah. Well, you're actually at the bottom of our screen right now, too, so that kind of works out. Well, we appreciate you always. I'm working on a very special guest next week, folks. So we'll send out an advertisement on that. I don't want to commit to it just yet because we're not sure. But she's a very busy lady, and we're excited about having her. So, and Jai, we cannot thank you enough, sir. I know it's late there. It's back up to 5 hours. For a few days, it was 4 hours, but then y'all caught up with us, or we caught up with you or something. 5 hours ahead of us. I know it's late, so I want you to go get some rest when you jump off of here. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Straight Talk with Parents show that we do each Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In case you are around the UK, it's going to be a little later than that by 5 hours. And into the next day down in Australia with my friend Ariel Wheeler, my co-host. And I appreciate her so much for joining in. Ladies and gentlemen, you can build confidence in your own life first, and you can start there if you need that for whatever reason. It's not all about me, you know. I heard somebody say one time, don't talk about me, because it just gets boring after a while. And that's the truth. So when we reach out and we teach out and we involve others and help them reach their goal, my friend Zig Ziglar always said, if you help enough people get what they want out of life, you will always have what you want out of life. And I can tell you this, that this man up here is our guest tonight, Mr. Jai Garcia, can help build that guilt self-belief in yourself, because he can also help you refire instead of retire. And I can tell you that for sure. And he helped me, and he invested in me and what we do out there to build dads and moms and so forth. So I see we got some new people joining in Periscope. Catch the replay, my friend, on Periscope, but we are going to be ending up this. One last word for us, Jai. Just tell us whatever's on your heart. What is it?
My biggest and most important message is that you are good enough and that you deserve happiness and success.
Okay, wow, I just saw that we had someone from London join in. So, it's Sandra. Oh, okay, hi, Sandra. So I'm sorry, but I met Sandra in London, so it's kind of neat. But anyway, catch the replay, Sandra. It is wonderful, so I appreciate it very much. All right, guys, well, we'll talk to you later next time. Until next time, it's Dr. Keith and Mr.
Jai Garcia. And guys, before we close this off, can you just at least tell us when were you going to release the program? Come on, don't give us just tease us a little bit more. What Jai is referring to, my friends, is our actual courses that we worked on. We have edited it and we fine-tuned it. We re-edited it. We re-fine-tuned everything. It should be live this coming Friday is what our goal is. And we're very excited about it. We have to get a couple of hoops with Teachable, but we're working on that. And once it's done, it's done. So you and Ariel both kind of alerted me to Teachable. It works very fine with our concepts of what we're doing. So, and I've already got about 6 more classes up here I'm working on. So, but, you don't know what you've done, man. Craziness, right? But it's good to always reach out and teach out to others. So, Jai, appreciate it. Miss Ariel, thank you very much. And until next time, folks, Dr. Keith encouraging you to go out and encourage, enhance, and enrich lives all over, wherever you're at work, wherever you go. But make sure you start with your kids because they need it the most. Goodbye to my guest and my co-host and all the ones that are watching out there live on the internet, and to my Periscope family. We appreciate you. Love you. Just keep teaching and reaching others, and you'll always be on top. All right? See you, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.